Good afternoon. As you are aware that we start our day or we start our class with the blessings of God. So now all of you just get ready for the meditation. Close your eyes and sit in Gyan Mudra. So now all of you rub your hands and put it in your eyes. So now we are doing the chapter Poverty as a Challenge, Economics, chapter number 3. Is my voice is audible? Okay. So now we have started the chapter Poverty as a Challenge, and in this topic, in the chapter, we have just discussed about the poverty as a challenge. What do you mean by poverty? Poverty line, poverty as seen by social scientists, social exclusion, vulnerability, and after that, yesterday we have discussed, Friday we have discussed about the poverty estimates and the vulnerable groups. When we are talking about the vulnerable groups, that means the groups which are affected to poverty, and we have discussed through this graph 3.1. And now the next topic is related with, that is interstate disparity. Interstate disparity we will discuss today. Right now, interstate disparity, that means gap between the different states in the terms of poverty. Poverty in India, that is also another aspect or dimension. As proportion of poor people is not the same in every state, and there is a gap, and for this you can see a graph also. I want to show the graph because you just see this graph 3.2, poverty ratio in selected Indian state, and this is a data from 2011 to 2012. If you will see this data, this graph itself indicates about poverty ratio, interstate poverty ratio, and this is not the same. You just see the graph. In graph, it indicates that Bihar and Orissa are the highest poverty. They are having more poverty as compared to Kerala. It is indicated. It is proved with the graph. You just see Bihar is having 33.7% poverty ratio. Odisha, it is 32.6%. Kerala, it is 7.1%. So this is called interstate disparity. This means gap between Bihar and Kerala. There is a lot of difference. There is a lot of gap. If we are talking about this situation, that is the states, we can divide into three parts of this topic, that is the states. If you will see, one data is related with all India, and all India poverty ratio is 22%. So that means the states with poverty ratio, the states with poverty ratio more than the national average. What is the national average? That is 22%. But we can observe that these 5 states, especially Bihar, Orissa, Assam, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, these are the most poverty-ridden states of India. And the poverty ratio in these states is much higher than the national average. Is it clear to everybody? That in these 5 states, poverty ratio is higher than the national average. Is it clear? Next, if out of these 5 states, Bihar and Orissa are the poorest states with poverty ratio of 33.7 and 32.6%. Assam is also not lagging behind. And you are, whatever the book you are having, the data will be different. This is the graph of 2011-12. Maybe in your book it will be 2001 to 2002. But you can just prove with the example. Most of these states are facing rural as well as urban poverty. After that, we'll see states with poverty ratio less than the national average. Less than the national average, all the states. National average is 22%, but states with poverty ratio less than the national average. So recent studies show that in 20 states and union territories, the poverty ratio is less than the national average. There has been a significant decline in poverty ratio in Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, West Bengal, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Haryana. After that, we just see states with low poverty ratio. The states with low poverty ratio like Kerala, Himachal, Punjab, Andhra Pradesh are having very low percentage of population living below the poverty line. And now, not only now, You just see, this is the elaboration of your graph. But after that, we will discuss about some states where poverty reduced and the reasons behind it. There has been a significant decline in poverty in Kerala. Do you know why is it? Kerala is able to reduce poverty, and the main reason behind is that Kerala has focused more on human resource development, or we can say that Kerala has invested in education and health. And in the recent phenomena also, in the recent situation also, you can see when there was a many cases in Kerala. At that time, Kerala was able to overcome the situation of pandemic. And the main reason behind it was that they were having the health infrastructure. They are having the education infrastructure. So that is called, Aditya, and that is why we can say Kerala has reduced poverty because they have focused more on human resource development, which we have already discussed in our chapter number 2. And after that, if you will see, that is Punjab and Haryana. That is also we have done. Punjab and Haryana also reduced poverty because they have introduced green revolution. And green revolution means high agricultural growth rates and resulted Punjab and Haryana are the most developed states also because high agricultural growth rate means more income. So Punjab and Haryana reduced poverty, and the basic reason is green revolution, high agricultural growth rate. And after that, in West Bengal. In West Bengal, government had introduced land reforms. Do you know what do you mean by land reforms? Land reforms related with the previously in India there was a system of small size of land, agricultural land especially. So now different land reforms measures have helped in reducing poverty in West Bengal and in Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. In Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu, public distribution of food grains. Have you ever heard public distribution? What do you mean by public distribution? Public distribution means ration shop. Setting up of the ration shops where poor people are getting food grains at lower price. So that means Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu public distribution of food grains could have been responsible for the improvement. They have not increased the income, but they have reduced the expenditure due to this reduction in poverty ratio. So this was the interstate disparity in India. That means difference between one state to another. So that is आपका graph. And now we will discuss about the global poverty scenario. Global means globe. That means world. So now we will discuss about what is the poverty scenario around the globe. For this, again, we are having 2-3 graphs in your book also. First, you just see the graph 3.3. Share of people living on US dollar 1.25 a day. This is the that related with 1980 to 2011. That day also we have discussed international, World Bank criteria for poverty measures is the person who is earning less than US dollar 1.25 per person per day. If it is below than that, so that will be called poor people. So now we will discuss World Development Indicators. This is source World Development Indicators 2012, the World Bank. And you just see in different countries, red indicates China. But before this graph, you can easily understand in most of the countries, poverty is reducing. But the rate of reducing is not same in all the countries. Some countries have reduced poverty on a large extent, some very slow, and in some parts of the world, the poverty increased. And this is, you just see this line, Sub-Saharan African. Previously, poverty was around 52%, now increased around 58%, reduced and reduced. As well as in other countries also, if you will see China, they have reduced on a very large extent. So now we will discuss about the topic also and another graph of international level, that is different consecutive years, 91, 1990, 1981, 90, 2002, 2005, 2011. And you just see number of poor by regions. That means US dollar 1.25 per day in millions. And this is also again given by the World Bank. And that indicates World Development Indicators 2014. And you just see how much reduction in China, number of poor. So now we'll discuss with the data also. After that, one more graph is also there, and the table, that is table 3.2, poverty comparison among some selected countries 2010 to 13. Percentage of population below US dollar 1.25 a day. Nigeria 62%, Bangladesh 43%, India 25%, Pakistan 13%. So this is also global poverty scenario. That is also given by UNDP. UNDP is an agency of United Nations. The full form of UNDP is United Nations Development Programs, which we will discuss in 10th standard in a detail. So now we'll discuss about global poverty scenario. The proportion of people in developing countries. When we are talking about the developing countries, that means the countries who is not fully developed. And India is also one of the developing countries living in extreme economic poverty defined by the World Bank. You can see, and World Bank defined less than $1.25 per day. But if you will see the overall trend, so that means overall globally poverty reduced on a large extent. In 1990 it was 43%, and in 2008 it is around 22%. So overall globally it is reduced, fallen, but this is not equal. Like we have discussed interstate disparity. So same manner we will discuss in among different countries what is the trend. When we are talking about the trend, global poverty scenario, तो trend क्या है? Although there has been a reduction in global poverty, but with great regional differences. Regional differences means Asia, Africa, Europe, India, China. If we are talking about Asia, Asia maybe we can say 2, 3 countries, like we can take 3 countries, like our neighboring countries, India, China. China has reduced poverty on a large extent, but in India, not so. Reduced poverty, but not as compared to China. So poverty decline in China. In Southeast Asian countries resulted. उसका main reason क्या था? What was the reason? The reason was rapid economic growth and massive investment in human resource development. And what is the economic growth? Economic growth means that people are having employment opportunities. People, there is a work. So increase in economic growth means reduction in poverty. And the main reason was investment in human resources, which we have already discussed in chapter number 2 also. If people will invest in education or health, outcome will be in the form of income. But number of poor in China has come down from 85% in 1981. You just imagine, in 1981 in China, poverty, poor people were 85%. And in 2000, 85% in 1981 to 14% in 2008. And in 2011, it is only 6%. And now everybody is aware that Chinese economy is growing fast. And now Indian government has announced that they will ban on Chinese apps. So due to this, it will affect the Chinese economy too. In the countries of South Asia, like India, South Asia means India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Bangladesh, Bhutan, poverty reduced, but not as fast as China. And after that, despite decline in percentage of the poor, the number of poor declined marginally from 61% in 1981. At that time, China was having 85%, but in South Asia, it was 61%. And in 2008, in South Asia, it was 36%, and in China at that time, it was 14%. You just imagine difference because of the different poverty definition. Because every country is having its own definition of poverty. Poverty in India is also higher than the national estimate, which we have just now discussed in this graph, that national average is 22%, but some states are having poverty as compared to national average. After that, we will discuss about, you just see this graph again, share of people living in this. If you will see this graph, and that is in sub-Sahara African. You just see sub-Sahara African countries. Poverty in fact declined. And decline कितना है? That is in 1981 it was 47%. 47% in 2000, like 51% in 1981, and after that 47% in 2008. After that, you just see the Latin America. This is the Latin America. In Latin America, the ratio of poverty remained the same, not much variations as compared to China and Southeast Asia. Poverty has also resurfaced Resurface means where poverty was not there but now introduced, and that is in former socialist countries like Russia. Do you know that Russia is a very poor country, is having very much poverty in Russia nowadays. But previously, when Russia was not there, the country name was USSR, and they have done remarkable progress after during the First World War. This is your next chapter of history, and so poverty resurfaced in some of the former socialist countries like Russia, where officially it was non-existent earlier. Next, table 3.2. This is a table 3.2 indicates that proportion of people living under poverty in different countries has defined international poverty line. That means population below US dollar 1.25 a day. The Millennium Development Goals of the United Nations. False. A Millennium Development Goal was that reducing the proportion of people living or less than US dollar 1.25 a day to half. Yani what was the poverty ratio in globe in 1990? It will be reduced 50%. It will be halved by 2015. So now we have discussed about interstate disparity and global poverty scenario. Now, after that, we will just discuss all these points in a quick recap. Whatever the portion we have covered, we will discuss. Okay. So now, first we have started. Just give a quick recap of the chapter which we have done, and that is chapter starts with the common indicators of poverty. And common indicators of poverty: level of income and level of consumption. You can write down also. You can note down these points, basic points. These are the this is the summary of the chapter. We have not completed, but this chapter is very lengthy and most difficult chapter. So first, poverty, common indicators. Common indicators are income and consumption, level of income and consumption. Another indicator of poverty, social indicators. Social indicator means level of illiteracy, literate or illiterate, lack of general resistance, yani poor health infrastructure, lack of access to health care and sanitation. If the country is having health infrastructure, but it is not within the reach of the people, that means lack of access to health care and sanitation, lack of access to safe drinking water. So these are the two indicators of poverty. And now, basis of poverty analysis. What is the base? Base of poverty analysis. It can be understood by two methods: social exclusion and vulnerability. Social exclusion and vulnerability. When we are talking about the social exclusion, when we are talking about the social exclusion, that means where people are excluded from facilities, like I have locked the class. That means they are socially excluded from the class because they were not on time. This is also social exclusion. They are not in practice to come. And due to this, it affects the whole society, the whole class. So, when we are talking about the social exclusion, it is a process where people are excluded from facilities, benefits, and opportunities that others enjoy. And now, whatever the material you are getting, they are not able to get it. This is called social exclusion, or we can say boycott. After that, vulnerability. I told you the meaning of vulnerability in one word, that is affected. So affected, yeah, vulnerability means describing the greater probability. It means describing the greater probability of certain communities or individuals of becoming or remaining poor in the coming years. That means when disaster comes, everybody will be affected. Like you just see the situation of COVID-19. All are affected. But have you seen the situation of daily wage workers? They were affected more as compared to others. So this is called vulnerability. When disaster comes, all are affected because this is also disaster. Epidemics, it is disaster, man-made disaster. So it is further analyzed on the basis of greater risk faced at the time of natural disasters by these groups. I think the time is over, and tomorrow we'll discuss one by one these topics, and you can note down your points also. Thank you, and end meeting.